Let me begin with a scene. Imagine a leader who is highly intelligent, successful, respected, powerful. People admire their achievements, but slowly something begins to change. They stop listening, feedback becomes irritating, advice feels unnecessary, and gradually confidence turns into certainty. This is one of the most dangerous moments in leadership because often leadership does not collapse from lack of intelligence. It collapses from the loss of humility. And in Ramayana, no contrast illustrates this more powerfully than the difference between Ram and Ravana. Welcome to the Dharma of Leadership, a podcast exploring timeless leadership lessons from the Ramayana. I am your host, Kishore Kumar Thakur. In the previous episode, we explored discipline, the invisible strength behind consistency and trust. Today, we explore another quality that quietly shapes leadership: humility. Not weakness, not lack of confidence, but the ability to remain grounded even when powerful. Humility is often misunderstood. People sometimes associate humility with being passive or lacking authority. But true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. It is the ability to remain open to learning, to feedback, to correction, to perspectives beyond your own. And this openness is essential for leadership growth because the moment leaders believe they have nothing left to learn, growth begins to stop. One of the remarkable qualities of Rama is the way he treats others regardless of status. Whether interacting with sages, citizens, allies, or even those with less power, he listens with respect. He does not lead through intimidation. He does not constantly remind others of his authority. Even during exile, when stripped of royal comfort, Rama's dignity remains unchanged. Why? Because his identity is not dependent on external status. This is powerful form of humility. Now let us look at Ravana. Ravan is not portrayed as incapable. In many ways, he is extraordinary, a brilliant scholar, a powerful ruler, a master strategist. But over time, something changes. His intelligence begins to feed his ego. And once ego takes control, humility disappears. He stops listening, even when wise counsel is offered, even when people around him warn him, even when consequences become visible. This is the danger of unchecked ego. The smarter we become, the easier it is to believe we are always right. Ego creates several blind spots in leadership. A leader driven by ego may resist feedback, dominate conversations, avoid admitting mistakes, see disagreement as disrespect, and slowly people stop speaking honestly, not because they have nothing to say, but because they no longer feel heard. This is how leadership becomes isolated. Let me share a modern reflection. Many organizations have seen leaders who were exceptionally talented. They delivered results. They were admired for their competence. But over time, success created overconfidence. They stopped listening to teams, dismissed concerns, ignored feedback, and eventually the same strengths that built success contributed to failure. Because capability without humility becomes fragile. Humility creates a very different kind of leadership. A humble leader is willing to say, I may be wrong. Help me understand. What am I missing? These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of maturity. Humility creates space for learning. And leaders who continue learning continue growing. People trust leaders who remain human. Leaders who can acknowledge mistakes. Leaders who listens sincerely. Leaders who do not make every interaction about themselves. Humility makes leadership approachable, and approachable leaders often receive better information, stronger collaboration, and greater loyalty. One of the deepest forms of humility is the willingness to remain a student. Even experienced leaders need reflection, guidance, fresh perspectives. The moment we assume we have fully arrived, we stop evolving. Rama's greatness lies not only in his strength, but in his openness to wisdom. Let me invite you to reflect. Think about a recent situation where someone disagreed with you, offered feedback, challenged your thinking. How did you respond? Did you become defensive or curious? Now ask yourself, where might ego be quietly influencing your leadership? And equally important, what would humility look like in that situation? One of the paradoxes of leadership is this: the stronger a leader becomes internally, the less they need to constantly prove themselves externally. This is why humility and confidence can coexist beautifully. True confidence does not need arrogance. The Ramayana reminds us that greatness is not sustained by intelligence or power alone. It is sustained by humility, the willingness to remain grounded, to continue learning, to listen, to stay connected to something larger than oneself. Because leadership is not diminished by humility, it is strengthened by it. Thank you for listening to the Dharma of Leadership. In the next episode, we will explore another powerful leadership quality, the ability to listen deeply, and why leaders who stop listening slowly lose connection with reality. Until next time, may your leadership be guided by clarity, courage, and dharma. Thank you.